All right, we've got a distinguished panelist here, and the topic for today, it's something I think close to each one of us. Saying yes first, the courage to play big. Now, before we start, each one of us sharing what we feel, I just want to give a little essence of what this whole thing is about and what all of us feel in sync. By saying yes first, we all could transform the trajectory of our lives. As a certified coach, my attempt is to assist my coachee recognize and unleash oneself and play big. If someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you are not sure you can do this, say yes, then learn how to do it later. That's Richard Branson. Yes has magic within it, the magic of challenging oneself and exploring brilliant chances. Playing big is like a torch that shows you assumptions you've been holding could be holding you back, even if you think you're using your power to the fullest. Daniel Laporte. Often in life, we all fear failure. We anticipate the worst. We don't know what to expect. In doing so, we often say no to opportunities, and we reject thereby many, many brilliant chances in life. They are often disguised maybe as a new career prospect, maybe as an opportunity to step up at work, or anything else in life. Anything that creates a spark of curiosity within us is often our intuition guiding us. Just say yes. By saying yes, we often need to say no to others. It's not about being a yes person or feeling pressurized to do things we don't want to do. It's about having the courage and the conviction, which I'm sure each one of us have in this room here, to do the things we know we really want to do. So much so, sometimes they might scare us. Opportunity sometimes knocks very gently and does not wait for a perfect timing. But I don't think there's something called a perfect timing, and all of us would agree here. We just need to trust that there are opportunities that we can only understand in hindsight. When we say no, we reject more than just an opportunity. We reject the challenge it throws to us to experience that can unfold only if we say yes. There may be many reasons to say no, but if that something is stirring just within us, we should say yes. Saying yes just opens a number of more doors. The same opportunity will knock, but only at one particular time. When the time goes, that opportunity goes. We all are here to live to the best that we all can be and stretch ourselves. When we say yes, we do more, we create more, and therefore, we live more. So by saying yes, we invite the possibility into our lives and the ability to learn what we are capable of and just how far we can go. I'll close this initial topic on the orientation on the topic by saying what Steve Jobs said. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the biggest choices in life. A little perspective helps us abandon our fears. I'll now move over to the panelists, and the way we'll go, just for the audience to know, is that I'll be throwing a point for them to just share the experiences. Anybody who feels right, they can share the experience on that. And I'm standing so that we can break the pattern from the earlier discussions. That's the reason I'm standing, if anybody is wondering why. When did the opportunity knock you to start your journey as a leader? What differentiated these opportunities than the others in your life? Just anybody, if you could share your thoughts, and we'll add on as we go on in the panel.
Well, this on? Hello? Yes. As I've got the microphone, I suppose I should start first. As far as when did the opportunity knock, if I can quote an experience from my very early life, which really comes to a quote from Franklin Delano Roosevelt, you have nothing to fear but fear itself. And it is that that paralyzes you from and inhibits you from taking action when you should take action. The opportunity first came to me unwittingly when I was 11 years of age. I had been an immigrant to Australia from war-torn Poland, where I had come as a World War II refugee. So that gives you an idea of my age, and you don't have to guess, I'll be 75 this year. So the opportunity came in a guise, I suppose, in the sense that I saw a young girl being attacked by a pack of very rough girls, and whether I thought about it or not, I just took courage in my hands and jumped into the fray to pull this pack off the girl. Now, what has that got to do with leadership knocking? What it taught me was, A, that taking positive action, not just in defense of yourself, but in defense of others, wins you friends and influences people. And how did that happen? She became a long-standing friend after I had saved her from this pack, but in addition to that, these rough girls respected me so much that they never said anything to me or attacked me in other ways. And one thing that I do want to add to that, what brought that about was not the fact that I had the courage to jump in and throw off a number of girls, but the fact that they attacked me verbally on the basis that they didn't want foreigners in Australia. We're talking 1953 now, when there was racism after World War II, where there was a lot of immigrants coming, that just like you have now with Syria and other places, people who were foreign to the country were not welcome. And added to that, it was a pretty rough area, and my father was a doctor, and that was a no-no, being a foreigner, and a daughter of a doctor was just not the right thing. Consequently, they said to me, trying to defend themselves in their physical abuse of this other girl, you should get out of this country, we don't want foreigners, and anyway, your father's a witch doctor. So, quick as a flash, I was only 11 years old, I turned around and I said, well, if you don't want foreigners in this country, you better get out too, unless your grandparents or grandparents were Aboriginals. And that did it. After that, I had their undying respect, because they really couldn't come back at that. So that was the first opportunity that I realized from that, for the rest of my life, what is the correct way to behave. And being a leader means having courage and looking after others, not just yourself. Thank you.
I would like to share a bit of my experience as the Managing Director of Diligent Group Sri Lanka and Qatar Trading and Contracting WLL Qatar. Diligent Group has 8 diversified clusters, namely Diligent local recruitment, international recruitment, staff outsourcing, imports, exports, Qatar operations, to name a few. How we emerged. I am a chartered accountant by profession and an MBA holder, and my husband, a BSc engineer, cum accountant and also MBA holder. We were holding senior positions in the private sector, but our dream was to have our own company in early 30s. So we took that brave decision, giving up our stable career path and taking a high risk, while most of my colleagues were enjoying in their comfort zones. In 2006, 10 years back, we started our own company with 2 individuals. That's my husband, the chairman, and myself, using my father's computer, some furniture, and inside my house. The capital was only 25,000 rupees. In fact, my initial salary was very much less than what I was earning in the previous places. But I'm happy to say today we have more than 300 direct employees, and also many more, indirectly many more, and also we serve, we contribute immensely to towards the economic growth of the country. And I would say, rather than the opportunities knocked at us, We ourselves created the opportunities as we wanted. And also, I would take this opportunity to thank my husband, who is the chairman of Diligent Group, my parents and my daughter and son for being part of my success. Thank you.
To go? Should we just go this way? Okay, we seem to be following a pattern. But hi, I'm Ruchi, and I'm from Microsoft. I'm head of marketing for the Microsoft Partner Network. So, you know, when this topic came about of, you know, who's a leader and when was your leadership moment, I actually urge us to think once again that who is a leader anyway? And believe you me, as many people as are there in this room would be as many definitions of who a leader is.
Yeah.
Because a leader actually means many things. And I just have one belief that a leader is not a leader by choice. In fact, we have no choice. And the reason is, we are all leaders.
Right.
The question is, what kind of a leader do you want to be? Now, leadership does not come by status or by level or by experience. You are a leader even to your children at home. You are a leader to colleagues irrespective of your level. And I think that sort of version of leadership really makes you rethink this whole thing about what does an opportunity to be a leader mean. And I think sometimes when you look around, you see these little kids and you say, oh, this one's got a great leadership instinct. So leadership is something which we all have at all levels. And the way I like to view it in my organization or my team, and I encourage whenever I speak you know, to my team or at corporates, is that everybody you work with is a leader. Think about what I said again. Everybody you work with is a leader, because a beautiful definition is that a leader is a person who can take you where you can't go alone.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you choose to follow that person. So there's a girl on my team, for example, who does analytics. To me, she's a leader, because she takes me to success where I can't go on my own. There's a person who does operations, just does lands the events. To me, he's a leader. So really, leadership moments, I think, are not a choice. They come in everybody's life, and they come at all levels. So there have been many right from childhood, for all of us, like, you know, like for me. And I would also say that we're very privileged. We are a privileged few. And I think we should feel very fortunate and lucky. But we don't represent India. And we certainly don't represent the women of India. We are just the tip and the top of the pyramid. Absolutely. There is an entire pyramid that, you know, it sits so-called, you know, in the levels below us, where leadership moments happen every day as well. So I would just urge us to think, while thinking of what our leadership moments are, is that there are leadership moments happening every day. And it's up to people like us and women like us to really recognize and see how we can use where we are, the privileged position we are in, to really encourage those leadership moments and to really redefine what a leader means in our own minds. So it's not a question of power equation at all, and it's not a choice.
Hi, I'm Harpreet, and I agree with all these fine ladies, whatever they've said, especially with the fear that you spoke about and the fact that everyone is a leader, and I totally agree. And there are many moments where you have to exercise your leadership potential, because like it always exists. But I would like to just share one example which I faced early in life. When I decided that I wanted to fly, as usual, you have the typical you know, standard lines that girls generally become teachers or doctors and then get married, and even if you want to work, there are better things to do than to choose these kind of areas. But at that point, it was my family that supported me. They encouraged the fact that you could go ahead. And where comes the leadership moment is the challenge. Because when I went to fly, the place that I went, the flying club, they didn't even have toilets for ladies. The place that I had to go to operate those aeroplanes, I had to drive like through jungles. You know, we used to have these cycles and mopeds. And people said, you know, what about your security? So I used to sleep with a knife below my pillow. And I made sure that the flying club in which I started flying, that they actually got organized to have more women, like took charge of the situation administratively in a way that, you know what, you have already catered for the fact that there'll be no women here. I mean, so you have to have this, you have to have that, and then slowly and steadily, I think I kind of took over the management function, although I was just a student. So I was learning to fly, but running the school in terms of getting the infrastructure organized. So I think these are little moments where we get where people down the line, somebody has to take that leadership role. Otherwise, no one's going to do it. Like, you know, so these are little moments. And when I joined Air India, I remember initially, We had this Chakri Dadri crash, I don't know if you all remember that, many years ago, where we had two airplanes collide. And nobody wanted to actually get down to the root cause of the problem. And they said, unless you have 20 years of training background and you cannot start developing a system to avoid that. And we immediately took the initiative, no, this cannot happen again because there's some 600 lives at stake of two airplanes. And we developed, along with the IT solutions, a traffic alert and collision avoidance system. And we actually took the challenge. We used to work 24 hours almost, just in that workplace, not move out, make sure that the system is in place, that this doesn't happen again. So there also I used to be told, you're the only lady, there are all so many men around, I mean, how are you managing 24/7, you're with them? I said, they're like my brothers, they're like my friends, there's nothing going on, I just enjoy my work. And I think the men, when they see the passion in a woman, very soon, I must give them full credit. Within the first few days, they know that you mean business. Yes. And they treat you with respect. I've always believed that if you carry yourself well, if you position yourself, if you don't ask for favors, but you just do your job, they will respect you. Absolutely. And that's why in the morning also I had made that statement. If you want to be in a leadership function, you cannot be asking for shortcuts. You cannot ask for favors. You've chosen to be in that field. You will do all that it takes to make it happen. And I think that's where the leadership, as a concept evolves for me. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know what I have left to say because these ladies have said everything that I wanted to say. That's what happens when you're last in the sequence. But yes, I agree there with everything, the fear factor that Christine mentioned, and the fact that yes, these are not leadership moments, but these are the challenging moments that you come across in your career. So now that they have said everything that is to be said, all I can do is just quote a small example from my life then, is the big opportunity that came my way, or the big challenge that came my way, was when I joined UFO Movies 10 years ago. At that time, digital cinema as a concept was completely written off by the entire Indian film industry. We had predecessors like Mukta Ad Labs, who had not made a success out of digital cinema. And digital cinema was surrounded by a lot of ridiculous myths. To add to all of this was the fact that we were faced with an Indian film industry that was completely steeped in the tradition, in the history, and the habit of a 100-year-old analog history. Now to try and talk to that kind of an industry which is driven by relationships and fragile egos of producers, to tell them that here comes along this young company which has had nothing to do with the film industry before this, and we're going to take your films and digitize it, and we are going to deliver it all over India and its neighboring countries via satellite. I knew when the opportunity came my way and my boss explained the job role to me, I was laughing. I mean, I said, since I am amused, I'm sure the film industry would also be very amused. And what differentiated the opportunity was, he just flung me into the deep end of the pool. He gave me no guidance. How am I supposed to do it? What would be the strategy? We had absolutely no reference points, no startup points. We created the business model as we went along. We addressed all the technical challenges as we went along. We spent nights on the field. We started with the dirtiest of theaters in India. We went to rat-infested, porn-playing theaters to get our initial sampling done. And that is how we started. And slowly the journey began. And we walked, we stumbled, we faltered, we fell, we groped, we stood up, we dusted ourselves off, we reinvented, reimagined. And today, in a short span of 10 years, we are India's largest, in terms of number of screens, the largest film distribution and in-cinema advertising platform. So that's the biggest challenge I faced, and I had to say yes to something that I thought would actually sabotage my career, but it didn't.
Hi everybody. First of all, I would like to say I'm extremely humbled and honored for this recognition I received today among such a distinguished gathering of women from all walks of life all over the world. I agree with everything that everybody has said today, and thank you, Deepti, for having me here. and to Dr. Bhatia, of course. Adding to what has already been said, I think leadership comes to us every day at various stages of life. I'm an entrepreneur who moved on from a well-set corporate career 6 years back to co-found the company. I'm not an engineer by profession. I have a management degree in advertising and communications management. Had a 10-year corporate stint across media, consumer durables, and telecommunications. And in 2010, I co-founded Nebula. And today, in our 6th year of operations, we are a multidisciplinary company, launching businesses, and we believe we are doing good work in mobile application developing, leveraging new technologies in web, digital marketing, and as of last year also started another division called Cubex, which is essentially mentoring and incubating startups. We picked up equity stake in a very young and promising company from IIT Bombay last year. I believe leadership is when we say yes to the confidence we have in ourselves. I will not get into any discussion. I would like to. This is my personal opinion. All of us have limited time. What we do with our time distinguishes us. To get into any debate, to deride anybody on the basis of gender, men versus women, personally I think that's negative and unproductive time. I think one of the women, the director of marketing earlier today, said a very brilliant thing that we thank everybody in our lives. Everybody plays a role in our success. Success again is very subjective. What may be very, measure of success to one may be a, matter something entirely different. A homemaker is as much a success in her own right as much as any of us here today. With due respect, I believe when we say yes to ourselves, believe in our own potential, and stand up for ourselves, I think that is the moment when we say yes. Never let anybody get comfortable disrespecting you. As Dr. Bhatia said earlier today, I think that set the agenda for me. PhD, pulling him down. Don't let anybody pull you down. Believe in yourself, stand up for yourself, and nothing comes easy in life. You have to work very hard. Being an entrepreneur, I work very closely with entrepreneurs, young startup companies. A lot of them come with very, thinking that entrepreneurship is about a road to quick money. Unfortunately, it's not. Entrepreneurship is about relentless hard work, back-breaking hard work. You have to be very, very patient. You have to keep working day in, day out. You have to give it all. There will be successes, there will be many failures. Be patient, keep working hard, and there's nothing glamorous in trying to be an entrepreneur. A lot of people think the time is ripe. There's a lot of focus on government, and thanks, yes, there is a lot of focus. Opportunity is right, time is right, but we are the ones who have to make it happen for ourselves. Nobody is going to lay out the red carpet for you. Stand up, believe in yourself, work hard, and you will achieve your dreams. Thank you.
As we discussed just before we all came on stage, that again we'll break the pattern and we will, each one of us have something to share, I'm sure. So if any one of you would like to share your experiences or anything, please do feel free before we move on.